Muhammad KHAFIZI, MATRIC number 1191544. For today, I would like to share about foie gras and the Islamic view. At first, let's see what foie gras is. Foie gras is the liver of duck or goose that has been fattened according to French law. Foie gras is defined as duck or goose liver that has been fattened by forcibly feeding corn through a feed tube, a process also known as gavage. Ducks are sometimes fattened by natural feeding. Ducks were forcibly fed twice a day for 12 days and slaughtered after 100 days, while geese were forcibly fed 3 times a day for about 17 days before being slaughtered. Number 2, foie gras is a popular and well-known in French cuisine. The taste is described as fatty, buttery, and delicate unlike the usual duck or goose liver. Foie gras is cooked into mousse or parfait. It may also be served as a side dish to main dishes such as steak. French law also states that foie gras belongs to the French culture. Lastly, technique of gavage starting from year 2050 before century, when the ancient Egyptians began to keep birds as a source of food and deliberately fatten these birds through garbage. Today, France is the largest producer and consumer of foie gras. French also produce around the world, especially in European countries, the United States, and China. In the 21st century, France is by far largest and consumed in several other countries worldwide, particularly in some other European nations, the United States and China. They have 30,000 people work in French foie gras. The European recognize the foie gras produced according to traditional farming methods in southwestern France. Next, Hungary is the world's second largest foie gras producer and the largest exporter. France is the principal market for Hungarian foie gras. Furthermore, 30,000 Hungarian goose farmers are dependent on the foie gras industry. French food companies spice, process, and cook foie gras so it may be sold in French products in its domestic and export market. Effect of forced feeding procedure to begin with, fear, geese, and ducks show avoidance behavior towards the person who feeds them and the feeding procedure. In addition, injury. An EU committee reported that there was usually clear evidence of tissue damage in the esophagus of birds which had been gavage fed. A study on Muscovy ducks found that gavage feeding was related to an increase in painting behavior and serum corticosteroid levels, indicating increased stress attributable to this feeding method. In the view of Islam, it is very inappropriate to torture an animal just to get the best quality food. This is because it seems to symbolize that we as humans have no pity for such animals. Muslims in France eat foie gras because for them it is their cultural food, but to determine its halal status, it's quite difficult because it has to be seen in terms of the way the animal is managed. There are also many countries that strictly forbid their people to eat foie gras because they feel there is an element of cruelty to get the liver of the ducks and geese. That's all from me about foie gras, and thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.